start talking, you're gonna be like, oh.
See, you caught her, right?
Welcome to Marriage Minutes at His Pace. Today we are going to be talking about wills and estate planning.
And by no means are we financial advisors, but we know that as our parents do get older, that there needs to be the necessary steps to make sure that their affairs are in order. My father passed in January of 2017, and going through all the necessary information in terms of life insurance papers and everything, my sister and I found out that my parents had POAs in place, power of attorneys in place for each other, which deemed us in the hierarchy of that, as well as their home was in a trust. And that was information that we were not privy to. And so that's probably, in terms of African Americans having that in place, is probably on the minority. I think in terms of estate planning, this doesn't happen. You know, there's no wills. And so you hear all the horror stories about siblings fighting over nickels and quarters.
Right.
When a will and trust and proper planning could be in place to alleviate a lot of that. I mean, the sad thing is you're mourning the loss of a parent, but then you're having strife over nickels and quarters. It's just counterproductive. I mean, and so I think the huge thing for us is that, for me, is that my parents had it, you know, so it kind of eased the tension. Well, there was no tension, but it just kind of made the situation a lot easier.
It made grieving and doing all the things that we had to do easier, putting the funeral arrangements together, because we weren't fighting about, let's go have a chicken line to raise the money so we can buy a casket or whatever the case may be. It made things smoother. And for us, I'm not sure if you were finished.
I didn't got there, but go ahead.
I just wanted to say, for us, what it did was it sparked a desire in us to prepare for our daughter and make sure that she is prepared as she can be with having a will. And even though she's the only child, it just makes things simpler, because here's the one thing I want to say, and then I'll let Mark jump back in. For me, I felt like it was so much hurt and turmoil during the grieving period, because we had so many things that we had to figure out where to put it. You know, my in-laws had collected these or had kept these things, and something tears at you when you have to be the decision. Okay, well, this isn't valuable to me, but it was to them. So what do I do with it? Where do I put it? And should I? And so for us, again, that whole experience made us realize that we needed to have our wills and our estates in place so that Erin doesn't have to cipher through that, even though she's the only child. But then secondly, I don't want her to have to make a decision about my stuff. When that time comes, I want to have alleviate that pain for her I'm a crafter. But Erin may not want to be a crafter, so I don't want her to decide if she needs to keep all my paper, all my whole craft room.
Yeah.
I don't want her to have to make those choices. I want to be mature enough when I am unable to do those things that I rid myself of them and allow her to have a much more smooth transition as a result of her mother and father passing.
Yeah, and I think especially it's just stuff, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
we rented up because we had to downsize the house and move my mom into assisted living, and so all this stuff that they had accumulated, their 50 years of marriage, you know, it's emotional, but it's just overwhelming. And so if nothing else, just start the process of planning. You know, we're not guaranteed to live forever, especially nowadays. I mean, it seems like it was always when people got older, they passed, but now people are dying younger. So who takes care of your kids if the two of you were to somehow die? You know, who do you trust? Who do you trust? Not just for the physical nature of your child, but for the emotional nature, for the mental nature of your child. what do you do with your household? What do you do, if you do have money? I mean, all those things can be ironed out with a financial advisor in terms of your financial planning. My mom had life insurance policies, and so all those things have to be in place to really help that grieving process, but really to help the family navigate postpartum. Is that the word? Yeah, sounds good.
You can use that.
Yeah.
Postpartum pregnancy.
Yeah. See, I'm all jacked up. But to help navigate, I know my credibility, but
it's okay.
Yeah, but just to help navigate that process, because it's just a lot. And if there's, my sister and I got along well, and we navigated it at that, because I became the POA for my mom, but I had no knowledge of it. I mean, so that's kind of information that if you have adult children, that you can start putting those policies and procedures in place, and just kind of let them know. I mean, let them know now versus, God forbid, somebody pass away and then your children are bickering over mom and dad's stuff.
Right.
So
get your wheels.
Get your estates.
Get it together.
Get your life insurance.
You won't live forever.
Put your kids' names on the accounts.
Figure it out.
And don't argue and don't fight over nickels and quarters.
So you can continue to live, and your children can live at his
pace. Be well, be blessed.